What setting do I use on my spreader for applying RTF seed? Can I actually put dimension down now on my sod? And am I able to put down lime, grass seed, and turf trust at the same time? I've got answers to these questions and more coming up on Garden Sense. Hey everybody, I'm Tim Ward and welcome back to Garden Sense. Well, folks, the last month or so, we have been inundated with dozens and dozens of emails every single day from you with a broad range of questions. But I would say that most of them have dealt primarily with the overseeding process, which does make a lot of sense given that about a month ago, we actually launched a kind of new overseeding process that we wanted to share with you, and we're stocking all of the products necessary to complete it in that manner. So we've loved all the emails that we've been getting you. It's kept us really, really busy. And obviously we appreciate all the business that you've been giving us through rosensonline.com. Now, today we are going to have a couple of questions that deal with seeding. However, we also picked a couple others that were outside that overseeding category simply because there is a lot that goes on this time of year and we know that you have questions. So buckle up, everybody. Let's jump right in. The first question is from Mark. Tim, I have a Scott's Speedy Green 3000 rotary spreader. What setting should I use on the spreader to spread the RTF seed? So I've actually been getting this question a lot, and unfortunately I just don't know the answer because there are simply so many spreaders onto the market. There's new ones that have come out recently. There are older ones that people are still using that unless I've personally used it, I really don't know what the spreader setting should be. And unless that information is provided in the instruction manual, the operating manual for your particular spreader, there's no way for me to know. Now, here's what I will say though. It's actually relatively simple to figure out. So Barenbrug seed should be put down between 8 and 10 pounds per 1,000 square feet. That's the rate at which you want to apply it if you are just seeding the ground. Overseeding, though, requires you to cut that in half. So we're talking 4 to 5 pounds per 1,000 square feet. Now, how do we figure that out? Well, the easiest way to do it from my perspective is to just break it down into a smaller ratio and test it on a smaller area. So let's use the larger number. Let's say 10 feet per 1,000 square feet. Well, if we roll that back to, keeping that same ratio, let's roll it back to 100 square feet. That would mean that you should put down 1 pound for a 100 square foot area or a 10 by 10 area. Now for overseeding, it needs to be half that rate. So what you should be doing is taking, half of a pound, so in this case, 8 ounces of Barenbrug seed, putting it in your spreader, and then trying to cover a 10 by 10 area. If you run out of seed before you have covered the complete area, the gate is open too wide, you're expelling too much seed too quickly. If you go over that 10 by 10 area and you still have seed left over, then the gate isn't open enough, and in which case you're not expelling enough seed. Folks, it's a very imperfect method, but there's really no other way to figure out what you need to do than to actually test it over a smaller area, so that way you can apply it to a larger area. Now, I will also tell you this, that it's always better to not put down enough seed because you can always add more. But if you put down too much, that can actually cause the grass to not grow as well. It could be weaker grass because, again, the root systems, it's just constantly fighting with the rest of the grass in terms of the nutrition, and putting down too much seed is just simply not the answer. So again, I would start small, start with, right around 8 ounces of the seed, mark out a 10 by 10 area, pick what you think might be a good setting, and then start from there and then just make adjustments. After you've done that, make sure you record the setting that you've been using so that way you can reference it in the future. I wish there was an easier way for me to do it, but again, unless it tells you flat out in the manual, unfortunately, you're just gonna have to figure it out with a little bit of trial and error. Good luck, I know you guys can do it. The next question is from John. Tim, I live in New Jersey and I did not have an opportunity to use Kickstart this year as of now. Please tell me when is the recommended optimum time for application of this product. So you didn't specifically say whether you were talking about your grass or if you were talking about your gardens, trees, shrubs, flowers, etc. I'm going to assume you're talking about grass, but to be perfectly honest with you, it doesn't matter because the answer is pretty much the same. And this is what I always tell people. So if the plant is growing or capable of growing, meaning it's no longer dormant, you can put down Kickstart. So depending on where you live, and we're talking about your lawn, you could start middle of February, very early March, applying Kickstart to your grass, or you can go ahead and go all the way out to mid-November, maybe even early December. Again, it just depends on where you live and what that plant's kind of life cycle is in terms of when it's growing and when it goes dormant. Remember, this is a root stimulator, okay? Kickstart is designed to strengthen the root system of any plant that you apply it to. So whether it's grass, trees, shrubs, vegetable gardens, flowers, again, doesn't matter. As long as those plants are actively growing, it can utilize Kickstart. So you can go ahead and put it down right now. And again, your lawn, whatever it is you're applying it to, is going to benefit as long as it's growing. Once that plant goes dormant, it's no longer going to be able to utilize any nutrition that's in the soil. It's certainly not going to be able to grow. So again, don't apply Kickstart at that point. But again, depending on where you live, you can put down Kickstart once a week, twice a week, all the way up until that first frost hits or the grass starts to go dormant. The third question is from Alan. Hi Tim, just aerated. Can I now put seed, turf trust, and lime down all at the same time? Okay, so this is a really good question. You can obviously put turf trust and the seed down now at the same time, and it's not an issue. Lime is a little bit different story, but again, it's not an absolute yes or no answer because it depends a lot on what the condition of your soil is right now. See, if you put down lime now, there's a possibility that it could begin to raise the pH level to a point that's actually not productive for seed germination. On the other hand, if the current pH level is at a point where you need to raise it a lot and you've put down the seed, when you actually apply that lime, it may raise the pH level, but not to a point where it's going to impact the overall seed germination. And the reason for that is if the pH level gets too high, it can actually impact the root system of the grass to the point where it may not be able to start taking up some of the nutrition like iron that it really needs to grow strong. So again, my recommendation personally would be to put down the seed, put down the turf trust now. Wait until you see some of that new seed starting to sprout up before you put down lime. Or if you know exactly where the pH level is, just gauge it accordingly. Look, at the end of the day, lime doesn't raise the pH in your soil overnight. It is kind of a slower process. But again, it's one of those things where, why risk it? You've put the time, the money into overseeding. If it were me, I would put down the seed, put down turf trust, wait a couple of weeks, and then put the lime down just to make sure that you're not impacting the seed at all. The fourth question for today is from Teresa. Hi Tim, I bought Dimension in the spring but failed to put it down on the lawn. As a result, my newly sodded lawn has all sorts of other grasses and weeds growing in it. Can I use the Dimension now? Any suggestions on how to get rid of unwelcome weeds grass? So it sounds like the sod has been down for a couple of months, and in that case, yes, you can actually put down Dimension now, and that's going to create a chemical barrier on the soil surface that's going to help prevent new weeds from germinating and again, preventing things like crabgrass, stuff like that. So hopefully you're going to see fewer weeds next spring. However, it's not going to kill anything that you currently have. And for that, we would actually recommend that you use Image All-in-One Weed Killer. It's a really, really effective product. Since we brought it on a couple of weeks ago, we have had just amazing reviews from customers. They can't believe how effective it is. So I would actually head over to rosensonline.com and I would pick up Image All-in-One Weed Killer. It's a really effective product, but again, put down Dimension now, see what you can help prevent in terms of weeds, grassy weeds in the springtime, but you definitely want to use that Image product to kill the weeds that you have because Dimension simply doesn't do that. The last question for today comes from Clara. Tim, my holly bushes are inundated with whiteflies. What can I do to stop this? So whiteflies are actually a pretty common problem this time of year, and frankly, I've gotten a number of emails over the last couple of weeks regarding them. Now, there are plenty of products out there that will help you deal with whiteflies, but I'll be perfectly honest with you. One of the products that I'm very quickly falling in love with is Monterey's Mite and Insect Control. It's an incredibly effective systemic product. You can start putting this down in the spring and then every 6 weeks make another application. It's going to help control and prevent anything from attacking your bushes. It works with trees, it works with your shrubs, it's going to work on your lawn. It's a really, really versatile product. And if you have an issue already, it's going to kill whatever insect or pest that you're dealing with. So head over to rosensonline.com and pick up a bottle of Monterey's Mite and Insect Control. We've got a couple of sizes for you to choose from. You'll be really, really glad you get this down on your hollies. All right, folks, just a couple final thoughts before we sign off for this week's video podcast. Folks, the time is now in terms of giving your lawn its third feeding of Turf Trust fertilizers. Fortunately for you, over at rosensonline.com, we have our annual Fall Feeding Frenzy promotion. This promotion consists of 3 bags of either the Turf Trust Maintenance or the Turf Trust Starter, and it's available in either the 5M size or the 10M size. Folks, it's a really good deal in terms of the price on the product, and it's going to qualify for free shipping. So if you have not fed your lawn its third feeding yet, now is the time to do it. So head over to rosensonline.com and take advantage of the savings. And don't forget, you have a 4th feeding coming up in November. So go ahead and order what you need. Take advantage of the special price so that you have enough to feed your lawn its 4th and final feeding of the season. Now, I've been getting a number of emails from you asking about when the Barenbrug Turf Saver RTF seed is going to be back in stock. Folks, as quickly as we can get it. We have blown through so much seed. I can't even begin to describe you how quickly it is flying off our shelves. As soon as we get it in, it goes. We have placed an order for more seed. We've asked them to expedite it so that we can put it on our shelves, but it could still be another week to 10 days before it arrives. I just don't know. This is obviously a very, very busy time of year in terms of, the need for grass seed with all these people overseeding. We have gone through a significant amount of grass seed already. And frankly, you guys are just exceeding our expectations in terms of what we thought we would need heading into the fall. So thank you very much for that. But we do appreciate your patience. We do have more coming in. And I will definitely make sure that some type of email communication gets sent out as soon as it arrives. Folks, as always, we really appreciate all of the time that you spend with us, and we absolutely love when you send emails our way, whether it's to boast about how great your lawn or garden looks, or if you simply need help, you're experiencing some type of issue in your lawn or your gardens, and you would like some expert advice. If that's you, make sure you send an email directly to me at tim@rosensonline.com, and I will be happy to help. Folks, thank you so much for spending all this time with us today. I hope you have an amazing rest of the week. God bless.